out on our end on the actual metaverse side. If you guys don't know, we are live and in charge in the Hello Plaza in the metaverse that you guys can come and join us and be a part of this amazing event. And literally, you can go up to the link up at the top and you can be able to hit the big old button that says Hello Plaza Live, or should I say Hello Plaza, or the Hello Plaza virtual mall that you can go visit later. But we want you guys to come and visit us into the Hello Plaza itself, because this is going live as we speak right now. And so with that being said, guys, today's going to be an amazing conversation. Today's conversation is going to be about authenticity matters, how customers shape a better experience. And even more so, bad customer experience stories is what we're going to be talking about today. We're not going to be calling no names. We're not going to be throwing nobody under the bus, but we're going to be having examples, right, of how customers play a huge role into salesmanship, into collaboration, into, right, just being honest and authentic about what they need, how they want to build, how they want to grow in all facets, especially with our business being Hello LLC, which is all about helping entrepreneurs leverage leading edge optimizations, and more importantly, helping everyone live life optimally. As we share with people, we can help you, but the saving part is up to you. And it really takes you to be upfront and honest and open with yourself, because something that we, were listening to a little earlier, right? Those of you that follow John Lee, we're in his entrepreneurship 2024 seminar that's going on right now. And there was a gentleman that was talking, and he's so spot on that, this is the greatest time to be an entrepreneur and to be able to have your lifestyle as a business and a global business, and really being able to build a multinational company like Coca-Cola, like IBM, like Apple. What is stopping you right now? Absolutely nothing. And then being able to create the demand. And this is even more so with the clients and the customers, right? Being able to collaborate on both ends of having this amazing conversation, and really showcasing that, us being in business for the last 8 years with Hello LLC, we have stories of customers from every nationality all around the world. And let me tell you something. The one thing that I find, as being an entrepreneur and having conversations with people, is customers not understanding the importance of learning how to say no, right? And even more importantly, saying no to the things that they should be saying no to. And sometimes we say no to the wrong things, especially knowing, what they are looking for. And a lot of the times you would be amazed that a lot of customers don't know what they're looking for, and they need help with that. And it takes you all to really be able to get rid of the pride, get rid of the ego, and really ask yourself, hey, what is it that I want to accomplish? And something that we share all the time with the Hello LLC is that, hey, do you have a business or do you have a hustle? Because those are two different things. And that's really, where it comes down to having these candid conversations with your clients, with your customers. And number one, making it easy, right? For your clients that, are, that are having business with you. And what we mean by that, is really having, the accessibility of understanding, how all these things go on. And I want to back up a little bit from there, right? And, so how do you know, that the customer is actually going to take ownership? And that's why I said earlier, that customer needs to know their needs and their values. That customer should understand the embrace and transparency, right? That customer needs to understand, what matters in their business, and really holding themselves accountable to what they want to do. Because me and Tara, in business, what we find is people say, oh, I want to do this. Oh, I want to do that. And they don't make a transaction, or they don't do anything different. Prime example, I'll give you guys a great one. I had a conversation with a young lady a while back, and she was an up and coming author. and she wanted to be able to, showcase her book. And I had a full-fledged conversation with her, and she loved the idea of the biz in the box. She loved the idea of being able to provide a free chapter, being able to get away from Amazon, being able to, capture all of her money, from her book. And we were able to showcase how she could turn her book into an audio book, how she could have an ebook, a digital copy, being able to have a apparel line, being able to really have a system and implement it in for her business. And lo and behold, check this out. They decided that they were going to say, yes, David, let's do this. I love this. This is a great idea. Because at that time, this client did not have a website, did not have any foundation in order whatsoever. And you guys will not believe, after 2 hours of a conversation with this young lady decided, hey, David, I love this. Give me, until the end of the week, and I'm going to move forward on this, and we're going to go. I love this idea. Let's go. And that Friday came, guys, and this person sat there and said, no, David, I don't want to do business. I don't want to deal with this metaverse thing. That's not what I want to do. I'm going to wait till next year. And that in itself, in that instance, and I'm more than certain you guys can give me some emojis that you too have had this happen in your business, right? Where somebody has met with you, you've been able to fully explain it to them, and they've agreed to the things, and they said they're going to do business with you, and then all of a sudden they flip and they say, nope, never mind, I'm not going to do it, and they go elsewhere. And this is, this is part of customer and having a business, but this is also part of customers taking, full responsibility and accountability of their words. Because if I, from an entrepreneur and from a business side, and from you guys all as a business, and you told the client, yes, I'm going to do this. Yes, I'm going to be able to do that. Yes, I'm going to be able to do this. And then you didn't do it, you would be the person at fault. You would be wrong. And it amazes me that customers don't take on the same mindset that, hey, look, I'm being up in front and honest with you. You have to, bring the same reciprocation back to this, this energy and this collaboration that we're building. And you guys give me a emoji or something if you agree on that as customers and consumers, we should really be, holding each other accountable on both ends. That, we have to be able to be transparent and be honest. And especially, some of the things that we do in our business, we help entrepreneurs and enterprises build their business, build, their foundation, and then able to pivot them into the future in our metaverse, in our Hello Plaza, which once again, guys, those of you that just joined, especially on the Clubhouse side and then on the LinkedIn side, we're on YouTube Live, guys. We're on our Facebook Live. We're also on on Instagram as well right now. And so this is where we want you all to just have a candid conversation of how these things come up and, how they impact your business. Because let me tell you something, from an entrepreneur side, we take our time to have conversations with clients, with customers, and we see, or should I say from our standpoint, we see where the gaps are. We see where you could increase your business. And a lot of the times, the customer sees it as well when we have conversations, but it's the unwillingness to change. It's the unwillingness for something new. It's the unwillingness, and maybe not even unwillingness, the fear, right? The unknowing, just the perception of doing something new in our business, because we're so accustomed to doing things in one way, especially now. Things are changing, times are changing. And when we go to entrepreneurs and we say, hey, look, that blog, that newsletter, that's outdated. Those are old traditional things. How much are you posting on your social media? You need to get on TikTok. You need to get on YouTube. You should be on LinkedIn posting. You should be doing these things daily. And that's transition, because guess what? We've been brainwashed, to be completely honest with you. For the last 12 years, and this is something that this gentleman shared earlier, that, we went to school for 12 years and we got taught a supplier, how to be a supplier, a component in a machine. And if we all remember that when we were little, we were bold, we were eager, we were fearless, where, we would go and introduce new things to our parents. Hey, mama, let's go to Disneyland. Hey, I want to do this. Hey, I want to do that. And we somehow got told to pipe down or to know that's not a good idea. And this is where we are really are changing and shifting how we look at that and how we come across to each other, especially in business, right? Of not being afraid of how we show up in life and how we show up in business, because guess what? That's what business is about now, is showing up and saying, hey, I have this wonderful idea. We should do this. We should do that. We should implement this. We should, continue to move along and do these things. And yet, because society, because our parents, because our friends, because our family squashed all of that, we now have this fear, because you didn't have fear when you were a little kid. And this is where we encourage, especially, and once again, guys, I'm talking from our experience, from what we do in our business to help people pivot themselves from 2D to 3D, just like Chef Andy down here in LinkedIn. And I'll put his biz in a box up here at the top that you guys can see. Literally, Chef Andy came to us, with a traditional website and needed some help rebuilding his foundation so he can have people order his amazing pasta sauces right there on the spot. So often, us as entrepreneurs, we want to, talk to people and show them everything that we have. And this is one of those concepts that we share with our client. Oh my goodness. My bad, guys. I'm on mute this whole entire time on LinkedIn, and I'm thinking you guys are hearing me, and I so apologize. So let me. I was like, what's going on? My bad, guys. I'm over here talking away on LinkedIn and on Clubhouse, and you guys can't hear me. So let me start this party all over again. We want to welcome you guys all to the Hello LLC. Hello stands for helping entrepreneurs leverage leading edge optimizations. More importantly, it is about helping everyone live life optimally. And today we're talking about authenticity matters, how customers shape a better experience, and really bringing, and having a conversation that we all can gain from both sides, from a consumer, from an actual, entrepreneur, and having these conversations, about bad customer experiences from the entrepreneur side. And I was just sharing with you guys, some of the things that me and Tara have experienced through one client, and there's multiple clients that, and this is one thing that I would encourage us all to do, right? Is that if you are meeting with somebody and you are, having a one-on-one conversation and the product or service is not for you, just say no. If everybody could catch on to that and grasp onto that one idea to just say no, that would be absolutely amazing, to where, hey, look, I love the services. It's not for me right now. Hey, I don't have the money right now. Hey, maybe next month, next year, catch up to me then. But don't tell people yes and then falter away, where then, and this has happened multiple times, and you guys give me emoji, you reach out to that person ignores you, right? There's now this icky feeling that they have towards you, and then what happens is sometimes the customers make you feel bad, like you were at fault, and that just drives me crazy, because it's the pride, it's the ego, it's the embarrassment more than anything, right? Of not just being upfront and honest and saying, hey, you know what? Right now I can't afford that. Then maybe you shouldn't have took the meeting from the jump. Real talk, right? And so this is where we have to be upfront and honest. And so Tara, you're here with me, love. Or hold on, I got Chef Andy. Chef Andy's up here. So Chef Andy, brother, I know with all your experiences and all the things you've went through, in your business, and what you've dealt with, do you have any customer stories or any experiences that you want to share with us that entrepreneurs or even customers should learn from?
pulls it all together and makes a complete circle. This is all about. Blown away. All AI, it's all coming down to for this program, which is great, which allows me to call me no problem, you know, insurance covers it. So today I'm going to
Sorry, guys.
cool. Point in my mind. Control what I have. However, the reason I'm here is that with your programs, I mean, you can see how technology is really, really making it sometimes more connecting. We're connecting more with people through different means, and this is all the technology that we're in now, the Web3, the metaverse. And I told one of the nurses, because her husband, she just has an 18-month-old baby. I asked her if she cooked. Right? She says, no, she really doesn't have time. But her husband's a wonderful cook, and he's a red sauce guy. So that was a perfect question for me to answer. So then she went to my site. She was just totally blown away. I said to her, I said, look, this is the future is here now. With how sitting at home and getting health taken care of and getting this equipment that has a chip in it that goes through. Just see where it's all going. Day, I ask them the right questions. I always try to find out what they're doing, especially in my business. If they're cooking, if they're not, who's cooking in the house, and you know what. Sometimes what type of food they eat. But it's a really beautiful thing, and you guys are really not only on the cutting edge, but you're right there. You're on the playing field. You got your team together, and you know the coach is blowing the whistle, and that's it. Or you're riding the horse, and here goes the gate. The gate is open, man, and let's get on that horse and ride, buddy. All right. Well, thank you so much for allowing me to share. I just wanted to share how technology is really, really taking over and helping us to improve. Many, many, many more blessings.
Absolutely, Chef Andy, brother. We greatly appreciate it. And look, you know, if you guys have not went and visited singingchefsauces.com, it is right at the top. Go and get Chef Andy's amazing sauces. He's doing some amazing things. He was one of the first to say, hey, like you just heard, what you guys are doing is, you know, unheard of. And this is a gentleman that has been in, multiple Vegas casinos. He's been, on multiple TV shows. Chef Andy's been around, so he knows the industry quite well. And when we shared with him our Biz in a Box compared to his static website, and then we're able to show him how we could also implement him into the metaverse, all from his Biz in a Box, and being able to give people the information they need, it was a no-brainer. And this is, even more so the reason why we share authenticity matters, especially when we meet with our clients and our customers. Prime example, Miss Marilyn down there, she also has her Biz in a Box with us also. And, this is something that, we literally are able to transition people's businesses into a completely different experience. And, that's the best thing about being able to just open up the 3 most expensive things, which is what we share with people all the time. And they're on you all the time. Your closed hand, a closed mouth, and a closed mindset. And when we can open those things up, I promise you, you will have a better experience than what you've had in the past. And especially those people that do meet with you, we always hear this, oh, I want to do that. Oh, I want to do this. Oh, I want to do that. And then you give them that opportunity and they don't bust a move and take advantage of it. And I share with people all the time. There's so many times we're praying, we're hoping, we're meditating on things that we want in our lives, and it shows up right smack dab in our forehead, and we just don't say yes because we're scared of change, because we are we're unsure of what's going to happen. And I'm here to tell you, there's no such thing as failure. You're either learning or growing, and so many of us do not make the next leap in our business, in our relationships, in our friendships, in all aspects, because we're not being authentic and we're not asking the right questions or, listening to one another. So often, the other day I had a conversation with the lady, and she told me about her and everything that she was doing. And she's like, well, let me hear about you. And within 5 seconds, she interrupted me and took over the conversation, and we went back into her. That in itself is not a good customer experience, where she asked me about me, but didn't give me the chance to share about me. And this also goes for us as entrepreneurs. Allow your clients to finish saying what they're saying. So often we take over and we're not listening. And that's the one thing that I share with people. Hey, look, when we get on our discovery call, let's go on an adventure. I'm in the passenger seat, and tell me, where are we going and what does that look like at the end of the day? And tell me every single detail about this journey and about this trip so we can get you to the right phase. And so, that's one of the main things that we want to be able to focus on. And so I encourage you guys all to come up and visit with us. If anybody has anything they want to share, please come on up and share with us. How you doing, Miss Renee? How you doing, Mr. D, Miss Giggles, Miss Marilyn, Carlos? Welcome, brother. Definitely join the house, right? We got Miss Mary. We also got Miss Taborn in the house. How you doing, man? One of our newest, or gonna be one of our newest Biz in a Box clients here pretty soon. There we go. Come on up here. And so, if you guys have any conversation, I know Miss Taborn got some customer stories for us for sure that she can share, as well as Miss Giggles or anybody else. You guys come on up here and share. But Tar Love, what you got for us?
Well, hi. Sorry, I've been playing IT in the background. We are on like 17 different channels right now. And so I've been doing the IT thing in the background. But it's good to be here. Good, great. I'm excited about this. Good and great. Let me get my words untwisted here. It's good to be here. And it's a great conversation we're having today, because at the end of the day, David and I, as being business owners, we all deal with different types of personalities, and that's just what this world is. All humans are different in their own unique individual ways. And so one thing that, I was sharing with David a couple of weeks ago, when we were just having a conversation, was just the power of the communication factor, and having effective communication to where you're asking questions, you're not making assumptions, and you're really trying to honestly make sure that what one person needs on one end is getting met and the other person on the other end is getting met, right? You have to have an equal exchange of energy these days. And that is something that has been lacking on the business side for so long, is that it's been very one-sided. As we know, large corporations are, the cream of the crop right now. That, think of the McDonald's and the Coca-Colas and the Nikes and these big box corporations. For a long, long time in the United States, it was very much the MO that the customer is always right. And I know some of us who are in the older generations, we know that philosophy, because I know when I started working, at the age of 15 in a restaurant, it was very much that kind of mentality. And so I share that because we are no longer in the world of the customer is always right. That doesn't serve the client, the customer, that doesn't serve the business, that doesn't serve the person who's in between doing it, because it usually then transpires into well, I'm the customer, and what I want, regardless of how unreasonable the request is, you have to fulfill. And then that leaves a business to be where they could be out of pocket, where they're losing money on whatever services or products they're providing versus actually, a wash or making money. Now, let me say this. It's not always about making money, right? Profitability is Profitability is the key to success when it comes down to it. Mr. Jones, you're unmuted somewhere. There you go. I don't know what he's doing.
We lost you, Tara. David.
Okay, just a second. David, whatever you're doing, please stop. Can you hear me, Giggles?
I can now.
Okay, David's monkeying with something as on the IT end, and we lost a second. So I'll back up 30 seconds. It's not always about profitability. Yes, the key to success in business is to be profitable so you can stay in business, obviously. But you have to understand too that it doesn't always come down to always having to make money. But my point being is when we run by a philosophy of the client or the customer is always right and we have to fulfill their request, we actually create an issue and an environment that is not sustainable for a business or a business owner. And so one thing I would like to bring to people's attention is after 22 plus years in corporate America, I've been in business with David, and I've been in business for 8 years. This May will be 8 years that we have been in business for ourselves. Prior to that, I ran businesses underneath the umbrella of another business, meaning I had a clientele that would follow me anywhere, and I worked underneath the scope of an employer, but I was the one that managed that client. I was the one that made sure the billing, everything, the logistics, the project, billing, everything was set accordingly. And when that was set accordingly, we had good projects and all that. And so at the end of the day, all I'm simply, wanting to share in this realm is that one of the most impactful things that I learned while in corporate America dealing with clients is that the most effective thing was upfront contracting. And a lot of times what happens is we're not doing upfront contracting as a business or as a client. And what do I mean by upfront contracting means we as humans walk around with this thing called unexpected expectations, meaning we already have a set of expectations already set up. I'm going to the grocery store. I have an expectation that the grocery store is going to be open. It's going to have most of the things that I need. It might be out of a few things, but it's going to have the majority of the things. It's going to be fully stocked. There's going to be people there working. The lights are going to be on. I mean, these are all expectations I have when I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to go to the grocery store. Or if I need to go to the post office, I have expectations. We all have expectations. If you go to a water faucet and you turn it on, your expectation is that there's going to be water that comes out of the faucet, correct? So these are human nature. You know, it is just human nature of how we show up with expectations. And so nothing is different when we become consumers. It actually, because we have lived through a time where the customer is always right theory, we have lived in a time where we kind of feel entitled when it comes down to being a customer or a client. Now, there's nothing wrong for being entitled, because at the end of the day, you're paying somebody for their services. But as I shared yesterday, as we started to have this conversation and, you know, previewing it for today, what you give is what you get. And so as a client, I mean, that's just, let me just say that as a broad statement in general of life itself, is what you give is what you get. If you come and bring war, if you come at people with, you know, obscenities and cursing, you're going to get that in return, or you're going to get disrespect, or you're going to get something that is not a positive vibe. But if you come at somebody or a company or a client or a project with a positive of, I want to be able to collaborate, we want to be able to work together, this is what I expect. These are the expectations I have when I pay this money. And then on the other end, the client, the business of the client, the business is to then either confirm or make sure to clarify what is being expected from the client's end. So it is not just where you show up, pay your money, and expect you get a service in return, that it's supposed to be this way without you giving anything. Now, let's be very frank about this. You're going to go to the grocery store and you buy, you know, a loaf of bread, and it says that the loaf of bread is $2 on the shelf, and you walk up and it says $2 plus tax if you're in the States, and you're like, okay, that's an expectation. I saw it was $2. I paid that. I'm good. Of course, you don't have to give anything within that because it's a simple transaction. But when you are doing business with people and clients and businesses that are brands that are providing you a service, not a product, then at the end of the day, there is a responsibility we all hold as the customer client to make sure that we are all winning. And so that is called upfront contracting. And one of the greatest things I learned within corporate America when I was managing my own book of business and my own clients and essentially running my own small business under a large business, I learned how powerful upfront contracting was, and to ensure that not only was I answering the questions of the client, but I'm also setting the expectations of when and the project timeline, when they can expect to receive their services, what the process is, how they can get in touch with you when they have something to add or ask. When you create lines of communication that are open and transparent and based out of respect, then that is a winning formula. And the biggest thing that happens a lot of times is most of the time people show up and expect to, okay, I paid my money, do what you need to do. Well, in our business, you can pay us money, but there is information that is needed. And that's why we have systems to gather this information. But there's information that is needed from a client and to be able to so ensure that we can then deliver the services that you requested and paid for. And a lot of times what happens is, and I'm just going to be very frank, we are lazy as customers and clients. Real talk. That's why we're going to people and paying them to do the service. It doesn't make you wrong or right. It's not a derogatory thing. I'm lazy too. I'm the laziest hardworking person you've ever met.
Facts.
I am brilliant, but I am not going to sit here and beat my head against the wall doing a repetitive task when I live in the world of technology and I can have technology work for me instead of against me. And so I say that with all love, that we show up in a lazy form when we are requesting services from other businesses and not ensuring that we are being responsible with making sure we communicate what we want. Now, here's a couple of examples. Again, 8 years in business for our business, a multitude of years in business on the other side. The biggest thing that I always see is that there's going to be two types of clients. There's going to be a client that just is like, here, I paid you money. I really don't know. I kind of have a vision of what I want, but because I don't have the artistic capability or the, expertise to get me into the solution, I'm paying you for that. And so here's kind of what I want the end game to look like. And I'm giving you free reign on whatever you're doing as a, service for them, and free creative reign to where you can just create what you think matches my end goal. There's the other side of a client who is completely engaged and knows exactly what they want, how they want to get there, but they're just not sure how to connect the dots. And so that's why they're paying you for the service, but they're very opinionated about what, where, when, and how. And that's okay. Either one of them is okay. But when you can identify which one a client is, it allows you to then identify as a person. I was going to say as a human, like, what am I, an alien? Yes, sometimes David probably does think I am an alien. I am. But anywho, my simple point is it allows you to figure out then what mode you need to be in as the business owner to supply or fulfill that request. So if it's somebody who's giving you more creative luxury and control to where you can just have, that freedom, then you know what hat to put on. If it's someone who has a little more of a vision, they have the not only the vision, but they have the content they want you to use. They know exactly how they want it to look. They know the language, the language content. They have all of that already nailed down. They just don't know how to put it together in a package. Then you know what hat you need to put on to be able to serve them. And so when you show up as a client or a customer based on what services you are rendering, and if there is information that is needed from you, you are going to be as good as the information you give. And I've had people give me next to nothing in information and have to pull a rabbit out of my hat to understand what they need, because, and here's the frank truth. Sometimes we don't know how to communicate what we need. That goes for everything. That's outside of business and life. As humans, we don't know how to communicate what we need. And I think if we would get better as a society, as humans, to be able to say, just in your everyday life, what you need, you can then have the comfort and the confidence to, in a business setting, when you pay for a product or a service, to say, this is what I need. Because a lot of times what happens is, and I speak from experience from this, because this is what happens to me, is I'll have a vision in my head, but I don't know how to articulate it into language in order to get what I need. And I've experienced that when, and in all honesty, when I'm prompting AI. And we had a couple of weeks ago, we had a room on this of how to be able to use your TAP method to be able to prompt AI to where you're getting what you want back. And I think a lot of times before AI came down the pipeline, and it really challenged me, and I know it challenges other people to actually get it, prompted to what you can actually then get the content you want in return. It really showed me that as a communicator, I wasn't doing a very good, effective job. And being in a relationship, we'll take this a little broader as we're all in relationships of some sort, whether it's friendship, family, or, a romantic relationship. But being in a relationship, a lot of times David would share to me, you're not making any sense. And I would be talking and I'm going, it makes clear sense to me.
Girl,
I mean,
no
I
clue
know
what you're saying.
I know exactly what I'm trying to say. And David would be looking at me like I have 6 heads and 10 eyeballs and 17 ears. And I couldn't understand why. And then when I started to actually prompt AI and have to give a machine directive and understand that, wow, I am all over the place. I'm not having a concise thought. I'm not having, then having that thought and articulating it into a concise point in verbally. And I still do that. I mean, heck, yesterday, if you were listening to our conversation here, I rabbit holed and, that's what I do. But my point being in this whole thing is we as humans don't communicate well. We don't articulate what our feelings or needs are. And so a lot of times that shows up in the business transactions we do. And when we aren't taking the time to do upfront contracting where, hey, this is what the price is. This is what you will get in return. This is the timeline. This is the process of how it will be done. If you need to get a hold of us or send us any more information, here's how you can do that. Do you have any other questions? Do you have any other content you want to? When you do all of this, do you have any, what are your expectations? And a lot of times when you ask that, most clients don't have a whole lot, or they might have, well, I need this by XYZ date because I have an event and I would really like to showcase this. And if it's, that allows, when that conversation happens right there, that allows people to stop and say, from my point of view as a business owner, to say, let's see, can I make that date? Well, that's only in 1 week. And what I've got already in front of you, unfortunately, I can't make that date. I can make this date, but I cannot make that date. Or say they give me a 4 week. Oh, you know what? Based on the current load and where you're at in it, I can make that date. I can have your business in the box ready. I can have your storefront ready. I can have whatever it is, service, product that you purchase from us ready to rock and roll. It's being able to have those conversations. And then what happens is, say somebody does need something in within a week and they're really desperate. Well, we have expediting fees. You can expedite your services within us by paying a larger, a fee for that. Now, we don't really present that a lot because a lot of times people are cool with the, 3 to 4 weeks, the 2 to 3 weeks, depending on what products or services they're receiving. And that works. We have had a customer who needed it immediately and she didn't, 3 to 4 or 5 weeks was not going to be okay. She needed it within less than 2 weeks. We shared what that was. She's like, that's absolutely what I need. And we were able to fulfill that request because there was a communication. Now, a lot of times we as clients procrastinate. We don't get to the store. We don't go purchase that product. That's why Amazon same day shipping and same day receiving is so popular, because we are last minute creatures. We don't think of things. We don't plan for things. We kind of wait till the last minute. And then it's like, oh crap, I got to run around and do all of this stuff to get there. And then make sure, that I haven't forgot anything. That happens the same thing when we are doing business with other people. And so today, the conversation of why we want to have this conversation is because we too are customers and consumers. From a personal point of view, I think it was just a couple of months ago, realized somewhere where I was not being the best client, meaning I wasn't giving all the information that was needed. Like, here's all the information, here's my expectations, and then the response or the result of what I received. And that was on me as a person, not communicating and not having my ducks in a row to be able to get that to. And so that way I got the product in return that I wanted. And so I think a lot of times too, guys, we just got to be real with ourselves. We are the problem. I know that stings. A lot of people don't want to hear that, but in order for your life to work really easy for you, the simplest way is to understand that you have culpability in everything that shows up in your life. You have a sunny day, you have a bright, happy day, you're culpable. That means that your energy, who you were being, how you were being in your day, it showed up in sunshine, everybody saying hi, nobody poo-pooing on your day. But if you don't have, if someone does poo-poo on your day and says something really mean or harsh or have a bad interaction, at the end of the day, you have to stop and say, what are my two thumbs? Because that's all you have control over is my two thumbs, your thumbs only. You can't control anybody else's thumbs, meaning, and you can use any body part. You can't control anybody else's head, mouth, thoughts, feet, hands. My point being is we all have culpability in our life in the daily events that take place. And that is what happened. That is then a result of what we get in return. If we show up with a bad attitude and we cuss people out and we act a fool, well, then you're probably not going to have a very good day because of the energy and who you're being and what you're inputting. Again, you get what you give. And so I share that from a standpoint of, boy, have I learned that lesson on my own in my own life, but also from a business owner point of view that I've dealt with clients that make it extremely easy. And I've dealt with clients that just don't know how to articulate what they need. And it doesn't make them wrong. It just makes me have to be a little more creative to ask a little more pointed questions because I can realize that I don't have enough information to be able to fulfill what I think they're wanting in return. And guys, it's okay to ask questions. For many of us, we lived in a world where, kids made fun of us for raising our hand and, oh, that's a stupid question. No question's stupid. It might irritate someone. Yeah, a question's going to irritate people from time to time. But in reality, when you really stop and understand both sides of the equation, the business owner side or the business side and the client side, and you've been in both of those shoes, you have grace. You have the ability to stop and say, you know what? I'm cool. It's all right. I understand that, I wasn't being the best communicator or I wasn't this or that or whatever it is, where you can be responsible in your results. And that's a huge lesson right there, being responsible in your results or for the results you receive, and I like to liken it to the fact that, we are in an energy exchange these days, meaning we can exchange energy by, for instance, I'll just use Chef Andy, who's up here, Chef Andy. We could build a business in a box for you, Chef Andy, and in return, there could be an energy exchange where Chef Andy's doing meal prep or cooking for us or, giving us sauces for the same, there can be a barter and trade through energy, right? But we all have to understand to make sure that it works for everyone in the equation. You as the client, the customer needs to win, but the business that is serving you also needs to win. Because let me say this. What if you go find a business that you really, really, really love and you show up and you take advantage and you ask and request and you request and most of the time requesting for free services or free things. And in return, you're not giving anything. And then all of a sudden that company's out of business because they're not profitable, but they're your favorite company. But were you helping to make sure that their sustainability was, you don't have to be the sole person, but were you carrying and it doesn't have to be monetary, guys. Monetary can be a form of energy. You can share, you can promote, you can like a post. You can, hey, I have a friend who's starting a business and I know just the team that needs to be able to help them with strategy and foundation before they ever think about getting into Web3. Like that is a form of energy. Chef Andy just did it the other day. Chef Andy sent us an email that said, hey, I have a gentleman right here. This is his contact information. He's extremely interested in what you guys do after I was sharing with what I do, and he saw my business in a box. Hey, Chef Andy, thank you. That right there is so much of an energy trade that we are beyond grateful for that. Miss Marilyn, I don't even think she's in here anymore. Miss Marilyn does the same thing. That's why Miss Marshall is on our stage right here and within conversation of our community and just being a part of our community, because Miss Marilyn shared. Miss Marilyn said, hey, girl, I know what you're up to. I don't have a clue how to help you, but I know the team that can help you. And this is them. And plug in and come to their free time of just like this, where we're hosting rooms to where this is where we give free value and knowledge. And I want to say this, David and I were having a conversation the other day, and we have, we're very well invested into Web3, not only in metaverse, but not only in AI, but also on the fintech side. And if you've been a part of any of our rooms in the past and heard me speak, you know that I geek out on the financial technology side of things, blockchain, all of that. David, I love the metaverse, but David is is a gamer at heart. And so that's where he geeks out, is in the metaverse too. And so my point being is, we have strategically invested for the past 10 years within Web3 environments, a multitude of ways. We've bought property, we've, made investments in the blockchain, we've, built our business within there. We've made a multitude of investments, right? And I say this only to make the point of, David and I were having a conversation the other day, and we're moving into Web3, and we feel kind of like kids in the candy store at the time of like maybe early 90s, mid 90s, when people were investing into Amazon and Google and Microsoft and didn't have a clue what they were going to do within the next 20, 25, 30 years, right? And so I say that because that's how David and I feel about the Web3 and the investments that we've made. And something David said was, man, all the people that we've shared these investment strategies with, and I say this, when I say investments, guys, I'm talking about whether we're building a metaverse, whether we have physical investments, or whether we're building, a business or helping others it's a whole conglomeration, right? When I say the words investment. And so when we say that, he was like, man, I just feel bad for anybody that we've shared this with that didn't take it seriously, and they missed the boat, and they missed this amazing opportunity that we have at our fingertips. And something I shared with David was, we share all the time our strategy. These rooms that we have right now in conversation with what we're doing yesterday, today, and on Thursdays when we have our live rooms, the content that we are putting out, the strategy meetings we have with people, we share what Hello LLC strategy is all the time openly, where we're going, what we're investing in, what we're, doing, because we want you guys to see what we're doing to maybe give you the confidence that you can do it as well. It's not investment advice of any sort. It's not for you guys to, it's just showing you that, hey, we can do it. You can do it. Be smart about it. Make sure you understand your strategies, how you want to go about it, and then sit back and watch, reap what you sow. And I do feel bad because there is going to be a time, guys, where this completely takes off and it separates a lot of us from other people that were like, and I'm talking not about anybody here. I'm talking about the people that have no clue what Web3 is, no clue what the metaverse is, no clue what AI is. For instance, my brother, I'll use him as an example. My brother is 5.5, nearly 6 years older than I am. He is completely clueless when it comes to all of this stuff. And the only reason he knows about it is because his sister talks to him to links on end about it. And he just, I'm sure he's rolling his eyes on the other end of the phone, because to him, he is in a construction business. He owns a construction, trucking, excavation business. And he he's not in the world of AI. Now, yes, technology is all up in construction, and we know that. I share that with him all the time. But at the end of the day, he's not utilizing AI on a daily basis like we are. He's not, jumping in and in the metaverse on a daily basis like we are. He is into blockchain and making investments on that side, because I have finally told him, like, get in, because if you don't, I am not supporting you the rest of our life, because you didn't put your money in the pot. But my point being, guys, is that there are people out there that are completely oblivious to this. And it's those people. Luckily, my brother will be okay because I'm his sister and I'm not going to leave him behind. But there's other people that will be left behind. I had a conversation with an individual about 2.5 months ago, and I was sharing with this individual about, they were asking what we do, and the conversation moved into blockchain and fintech. And I was sharing with where we're going within the realm of the world we live in and how we are moving into a digital age. And I was sharing with that person that if you have an existing portfolio within a traditional, the traditional stock market, 401k, maybe you got some metals, maybe you're invested in some metals and bonds and things like that. You need to have your head on a swivel. This is a public service announcement. If you are only invested in those areas, you are going to get wrecked in the next 10 years. And I say that with all love, and I hope that you then realize that you need to diversify. Don't remove your assets and all that. Don't move all that stuff around. But you need to reallocate some of that to make sure that you're in metals, that you're in cryptocurrency, blockchain, fintech, whatever you want to call it, because they're all within the same realm there. You need to ensure you're in Web3, you're in AI, you're investing in companies that are building the future. You need to make sure of that, because at the end of the day, like I shared with my mom, there are going to be thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of baby boomers and older generational X individuals who will get wrecked within the space because they're not diversifying and they're not paying attention to the technology at hand, and that we will have a change. That's just what's happening. And it'll be a change to where the big boys win, and the people, the small peeps like you and I, the ones that have our life into an investment that might be a little old school, they don't care about that. And so I shared this, guys, and I know I've rabbit holed a tad bit, but we're going to come and bring it back around the corner here. Is I share this because coming back into, the authenticity matters and how your customers shape better experiences is when you are in knowledge, when you have knowledge or realize you don't know, and you go get informed. You pull up to the campfire, you listen. You don't have to be the person, you don't have to purchase, you don't have to be the person that's buying, you don't have to be the person that's, giving all the information. You can take the information that you gain with a grain of salt and move on. And that's what I mean with all of this information I'm sharing about the Web3, all the information about how to be a rock star client. One of the biggest things I'll tell you guys is David always says, push the button, press the button, push the button. We're going to be button pushers, right? And I will say that there's nothing wrong with pushing buttons. But sometimes you need to ask questions before you push buttons. Because what happens is, especially when you're in, collaboration and working on a project together, and if you're in the middle of a project and there's multiple hands in the cookie jar, as we would say, you need to make sure you know what the other hand is doing. What is this hand doing? What's that hand doing? What's this hand doing? And when that communication's open and clear, you're going to be probably set up for success. I ran into multiple times that we have had clients that are out there pushing the buttons, which is great. I'm so excited for y'all. But sometimes they don't ask what the other hand is doing, and they're pushing buttons that's creating more work or problems on the other end of their project. And so I don't discourage anybody from pushing buttons, but if you're working with a team or collaborating on a project, just make sure what every hand is doing and ask questions before those buttons are being pushed, because sometimes we can, work a little against ourselves instead of, for ourselves. And that is where we come back to how to make sure you're being a rock star client. And the rock star client, I'm going to tell you right now, is someone who openly communicates. I don't care if it's a no that you have to communicate to anybody, but if you're openly, authentically, respectfully communicating what, how, and when, you guys will see that your business transactions, your business dealings will be so much clearer. You'll have so much more success, because in the end of the day, it comes down to the simple fact that you get what you give. And if you're not being communicating, even if you say, hey guys, I don't know how to communicate this. I don't know how to put it in words. Well, shoot, that's okay. Because now we know that there's an expectation, but we're not sure how to communicate it fully. That's okay. Now, look, guys, before I park my scooter on this and pass it back over so we can pass this mic around, I share this. We can communicate to a company and say, I don't know how to communicate to you what I want because it's not coming out when I articulate it. You also have to make sure that the company you are working with has integrity and has the communication evolution to be able to help you. Because there are companies out here that don't give a what, and they don't care. They'll take your money and give you some bullshit and say, on your way. And they don't care what they give you. So it is also your responsibility to make sure who you're partnering with, who you're working with. Make sure that you've done your research. Make sure that you talk to people that has done work with them, or go check out their resources, or or get on the phone with them, right? A lot of times sometimes you're not going to know the true colors of people until you get further down the line. And we've had a multitude of instances in the 8 years of business. I mean, I've had so many in corporate world as well, that you just don't know until you get down to the true colors of someone, and you're already in the middle of a project with them. Yeah. And they have already shown you their true colors, which are not very good, not very nice, not in to make sure that you are going to, be successful in the partnership. It's all for them, and they want it for free. We've ran into that a multitude of times. I ran into that. David has too within those corporate world. So it's not just within being in business for yourself. It is across the board. And that right there, guys, that comes down to you as a client. And I will be 100% frank. Most of the time I see it when someone is in fear of their position. I saw it a lot more when I was working in corporate America, that I would see someone's true colors because they had a CEO or a COO or some sort of executive breathing down their neck and threatening their livelihood by threatening to fire them if they didn't get the project completed, or whatever it is, whatever's going on, whatever pressure that person's putting on that person. And when you're threatening someone's livelihood, their job, their money resource, people will then stop and go, oh man, they get real ugly real quick because they're in survival mode. David and I have also seen it when we've been in business for ourselves. And those type of people, it is because at the end of the day, they feel threatened by the services that you provide, because they feel that the services that you are providing are going to be, at the simple point of it, that to take them out of business. And guys, there's enough abundance in this world for all of us to win. There's enough abundance if we will just communicate and understand what our level of expertise, our level of communication, our level of articulation is. And so that way, at the end of the day, we're making sure we are meeting in the middle instead of having expectations and then getting mad and getting ourselves in an upset, because a lot of times that's what we do as humans. So I said a lot there. Thank you so much for listening and being here. I want to move this microphone around. So if you're on with LinkedIn side, you're more than welcome to come up, Miss Lisa, if you want to tap in. Miss Giggles, go ahead. I see your hand up. What you got, love?
Oh my God, I just loved everything you were talking about.
contracts and communication are the foundation of a healthy business relationship between business owner and client. That is the foundation. And I was going to add one more, but you did at the end. My way of saying it is choose your clients wisely. If I don't align with a wedding client, a corporate client, an event client that I'm being, doing a quote for or talking to about doing an event, I'm just not going to take the job. I'm going to say no, thank you. But thank you for reaching out. If you don't align, you do not want to do business with them. I have done this for too many years and had way too many difficult situations. It's just not worth it. And it's also not good for your business because it puts you at risk if there is conflict for bad reviews, negative reputation, and all of those things. Anyway, on the other hand, I just want to add one more thing. On the other hand, if you're running your business, the other half of my business is online sales, online orders, where they just order online and I deliver the flowers within my city. That does not require a contract. So I can't be picky with my clients. They picked me. So you can have all of the policies in place, all of the policies. People don't read them. They don't. So you've got to prepare yourself if there is a situation where there is conflict or someone who wasn't happy with whatever, whether it was reasonable or not, it doesn't matter. If they're reaching out that they're not happy, you've got to deal with it. You can't avoid it. So, what was I going to say? Oh my gosh, I remember. Sorry. So in my experience, meet people in the middle. Listen to them. Make sure you're intently listening to them so they know you're listening. They will calm down. They will generally.
Oh, Giggles got a cope. There you're back.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. I got rid of it. Just make sure you listen to the complaint, listen to the concerns, be respectful even if you don't agree, and try to meet them in the middle. Most people, 90% of the time, will meet you back in the middle. And that's always a win-win in the end. But the other thing is, I know Santosh is listening. I hope he's listening. I saw him come off mic. In our industry, so for me, I don't give refunds. I don't. It's just something I stick by. I do not give refunds on perishable product. I will replace it. I will give you a credit. I do not do refunds. It's just something in our industry that this is how it is. So for me, because the markup is so high, when I do replace an order, in the end, I'm not losing a penny. So Santosh, we're very lucky for that. We're very lucky. Not all businesses are. So it's much easier to be able to offer a replacement than anything else. That's it. I'm done. Back to you.
Absolutely. Before I turn Santosh, before I push it over to you, because I know you're going to share some more and then some. So before I push that over to you, you're 100% right, Giggles. The fact of all money's not good money. When you come down to the fact that we have ran into that, all money is not good money. David and I have 3 or 4 examples of that. And we just have to chalk it up to lesson learned and move on and understand that was all money's not good money. The other side of that too is, when you're talking about the upfront contracting and the communication, and if people purchase from you, like over online and you just have to deliver it. You've already done the upfront contracting. Why? Because they purchased online. They probably saw a design or a bouquet or some sort of product in a picture form or some sort of format that gave them the expectation that that's what they're going to receive. If they saw a dozen roses in a glass vase and, you know, it had baby's breath in there and some greenery in there, and that's what they saw and that's what they got, your upfront contracting was done by a photo and them checking out and the terms and conditions that they did not read, as like you said, because people don't read. None of us read. But at the end of the day, it comes down to we are always upfront contracting, whether we're doing it verbally through contracts or whether we're doing it through visuals and the products that we're selling. If we're selling digital assets online, you're buying that because you've read the content. Hey, that's what I want. That's the book I need. That's the course I need. That's the digital asset I want to put in my metaverse, whatever it is. And so it really comes down to understanding that we're always doing upfront contracting, regardless if we know it or not. All right, Santosh, it's over to you. I know you got lots to say. Come on.
Like, you know, when Tracy speaks there, straight on a dog there with we speak exactly of flowers, right? Yeah, and Tracy, you are absolutely right that you remain back for the last 50 years and 11 years. You live in 12 years now, 12 years in Australia. So my is not that bad. Like, experience about the customer service. We always try to do our best. And we are always entering high. But the thing is, there are different types of people like this, right? Some of the customers all depend on the demographic. Found some very, very interesting that if you say you don't return the money, that is perfectly right, whatever you said. But you know what? I will interpret this thing this way. If some customer complains, right? Some, you know, our end, if we did something wrong, this and that, we could definitely rectify it. It's not only everything under control me, because I have a team, different people do different jobs. And what scenario? I return the money. I haven't got that many experience. 1 or 2 times we return the money. You know what situation we return the money? I don't want to see the customer never, ever in my life. Really hate that customer because their attitude is bad. I don't want to even bother to make another flower cake reflect them because again I have to see them. I have to turn them. That's the only situation. I return the money. Otherwise, whatever you said, that is perfectly right. And you know what? We always try. We are very lucky enough to see that our profit margin ratio is so high. That's why we can keep the best possible service. Even like let's say about now I'm trying one funeral service, right? You know, food at the back. We do our best service to make the customer happy because why we are giving our best service because they are paying value for it, right? So some people they don't want to spend the money. Let's say you have a lot of flowers in your store. You know, some are very different, some are medium, or some are you want to sell those flowers, right? Cheaper price. Somebody wants to come and buy. Cemetery also different level of cemetery. So if let's say somebody they are poor people, they don't want to spend a lot of money, but still they have a feeling, they have a heart to give something to their, you know, their soul, and they will take that, they will buy it. Different types of things. So if you want something great product, you pay high. The customer is not compromising it. You are not compromising. But there are sometimes customers are compromised. When you compromise, you will get that quality. And you already compromise, you are not looking for the great thing, then that's no point to complain. So different ranges, different types of services available that in every industry that happens, right? So, you know, customer service is the best thing. Sometimes what happens in customer service is like, even though you don't have the great product, you have a great corporation situation, you can be the customer. So it all depends how you deal with the customer. For my experience, like, you know, I myself in the past years, I started a career from that. Closely, what sort of job they are looking for, what sort of amount they want to spend it for, and what is their objective for buying the product. So that's how you can find out, then you can easily deal with them. So that's what I'm sure amazing people, amazing thing you guys do here every day. And Tara, like, you know, I would say, like, you talk about motivational way. A lot of people talk in the business like, numbers. Most people, they talk about business, money, and things, but you guys always talk about the holistic way of doing the business, holistic way of living the life. So the people, that's the great thing that keeps us more happiness in life. That's like, guys, I'm a very hardcore marketer. Like, I also run a marketing company here in Sydney because I got a company. But I love flowers. That's why I put in all my energy into it. But sometimes I start to think that maybe I end up my life with the marketing problem. So again, it looks like, because I'm always surrounded with the marketing people, and I study marketing, I teach marketing, I engage in marketing activities, and also thank you so much for giving me opportunity.
Thank you so much, Santosh. We appreciate that. And guys, look, we're talking on all of these different social audio apps, and I want you all to understand, we want you all to really come and visit us in the Hello Plaza. We would like for some of you guys that are regulars to really start, starting to meeting us and transitioning, and you doing something different, right? And come and meeting us in the metaverse, in the Hello Plaza, where you can join us from your cell phone, just as you all are now, from your laptop, from your iPad, from your VR headsets, and get to, experience this in a different way. Instead of you guys just looking at our avatars, you guys could be walking around in our Hello Plaza. You could be driving our golf carts. You could literally be, learning more about each other. You could go and check out all of our Pivot memberships, our gold members, from Miss Marilyn Holloway to Miss Alice Duncan, Dr. Alice Duncan, to, Chef Andy, to Miss Empowering Minds, to Astonishing Pearls, Miss Kathy. And I know I'm missing one more, Mr. Shandy Goins. And so definitely come and join us, guys, and visit us in the Hello Plaza and see that the future's already here. And especially, when we get off of here, you guys make sure you come and join us, in the Hello Plaza Mall as well, to where, we are going back to, we get to celebrate and build a community as the malls, right? Back in the day, hey girl, meet me at the mall. And you go have lunch, you go shopping, you go do this, you go do that. And now we can do that same concept from our actual, from our couch, and be able to shop and do all these other things. Because we had a conversation yesterday in our helpful how-to of how your website is about to be obsolete, how Metaverse is going to be your new website. Ms. Tapeon, I saw you bumping your mic. What you got? You got something for us?
Yes, I'm going to say hi to everyone. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, ma'am. Talk to us.
Hello.
Hi, how is everyone?
We are amazing, ma'am. How are you doing today? I got you on mute on my side if you hit the button again. Ms. Taborn, we got you on mute on this side. Uh-oh, she'll find it. But anyhow, look here, guys. There she is. Go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I am so happy to be here. I'm not going to hold you guys up. I'm here to listen, to learn, and I am definitely going to be a member. I'm going all the way. So be ready for me. I'm coming.
Let's go. Let's go.
I need
Let's
you
go.
all. Tara, I need you. Tracy, I hear you. I hear you. I need you guys. I love you guys. I'm so happy to be here. I have a whole lot to say, but I'm not going to hold you all up. I know you have to go. So,
no, go ahead. What you got? Come on, talk to us.
let me introduce
yeah.
myself. My name is Marcelle Taborn, and this is not what I started out doing. I've been in a lot of different businesses. I've been around. I've heard a lot, but not just because you guys are on this thing. I just want you to know you're doing a great job. You're teaching things that in my day, back in my day, we didn't have. I've been on this journey alone by myself for a long time. I've heard a lot of crap. You know, I've stuck my foot in a lot of mud. You know, I've had a lot of experiences. My worst experience was during the pandemic, right after I lost my daughter. She left me here with these 4 children. We hurt, and I don't look for handouts. I don't play games, period. Period. When I like good people, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm on this right here. Losing my daughter, you all have to excuse me. Losing my daughter brought a lot of changes in my life. I look at my grandchildren. I don't want them to grow up thinking that they have to be lost in this world and not have anything. If I have to give my everything to them, I will. So, anyway, I'm starting this business. It started during the pandemic, and my grandchildren, they love the name of it. You know, I'm not telling this story in a correct way because right now I'm a little bit touched. So please forgive me. But that's the reason why I'm starting this business called Buttons Up. Buttons Up is a retail store, and I won't say my dream. That's a norm. That's so normal. My dream. How about my reality? Our reality is to have what we're seeking and what we're desiring. We can have it if we not only work hard, but we support each other. Everybody wants to be the big guy, the main guy. But me personally, I can't speak for you guys or anyone else. I can speak for me. I love learning constantly. Constantly. It's always something that you do not know, whether you're older or younger, whether you're just starting or you've been there, gone there, did that. You're going to do some more and more and more. Being around good people is the key. This world is so full of evil. Evil, condemnation is here. But God's people still reside on this earth as well. Good people. I maybe talk too much. Let me shut the heck up. You all go ahead on. But I guess what I'm saying is I'm so happy to be here and I want to learn more. Tara and David, you guys are doing an awesome job. Everyone I hear on here, Tracy, I don't want to destroy your name, so I don't want to say it, okay? You in the black shirt. All of you guys down here, everybody. I love you guys. I'm a lovable person, but I'm a strict person. I don't do bull crap whatsoever. Whatsoever. Do I need you all? Yes, I do. I need you all. I've been in a lot of different groups, and they all were on crap. I'm not here for it. I have grandkids who are looking up to me, who need things. They're in school. They're tired of hand-me-downs. I'm not the best in the world, but I'm willing, I'm able, and I'm talented. Yeah, I said it. I said it. Look at Buttons Up. I'm talented. I can do more. I have more. I'm going to stick with David and Tara, and they're going to take me there. I have a lot of love for everyone. So let me just end with this right here. I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here. My grandkids need me, and I need you all. So let's do this. Let's make money. Let's make money. That's what it's really all about. That's what all it boils down. to is how you make it. It's how you make it, and who you making it with. Good people. I like good-hearted people. People who are not on bull crap. I like people who are thirsty, not hungry, not greedy people. I'm talking about thirsty. People who are willing to continue to move. People who know when we don't have nothing, we're still struggling and moving, trying to make it something. So I end with God blessings to all of you. I appreciate you. I'm so thankful and humble to be here. I'm here. That's all I can say. Thank you so much. Thank you, David and Tara, Tracy, and everyone else.
Well, thank you, Miss Taborn. You got Tara over here crying and just
I'm so sorry.
No,
no.
I cry about everything. Don't
yeah,
worry.
It's all good.
I can be crying and laughing at the same time.
Yeah. Well, you know, this is exactly why we do what we do, right? We do what we do for people just like you, for people that have passion, people that have a desire, and people that know what they want to do, and they just want to be able to have somebody guide them and teach them in an authentic way. And that's what we do. Especially, you know, when we talked about, you know, our Biz in a Box and how that is going to uplift, you know, your business and take you to the next level and really help you stop having a hustle and you have a business. And that's what we share with people. You either got a hustle or you got a business. And a lot of people that we talk to have a hustle. And when they get finished talking to us, they then have to make the decision if they want to continue the hustle or if they want to upgrade to a business. And please believe there are so many times that people get finished meeting with us and they say, oh, well, give me some time, or, oh, I got this going on, or, oh, I got to figure this out. And it's like, hold on, you just told me that you don't have a business and you don't have these systems and you want these things, but now I'm getting every excuse under the book to not get you to where you just said you wanted to be. And this is where I share with people, hey, look, if it's a yes, it's a yes. If it's a no, it's a no. I literally just had to have, I reached out to people because look, as a business owner, most people don't reach out and get a no from people. Most people will take that BS excuse. Well, let me talk to my husband. Let me talk to my auntie. Let me make this decision. Let me do this. And then they never come back and say no, or they never, or the entrepreneur never follows up, and it just falls by the wayside. And that customer is like, oof, I got off. I don't have to tell them no. When no, you're going to tell me no. You're going to tell me no. And I want to know exactly why you're telling me no, because when we talked, I asked you, hey, look, just be upfront and honest with me because I'm going to be upfront and honest with you. And this is a two-way street. And so we can sit here and we can kid at one another, but time is my only competition. And if time is your competition, we're on the same side. And literally, we buy you more time and help you stop being the janitor in your business and help you be the president in your business. And when I say that, people's eyes are like, oh, my God, he's so right. I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't have this. And then they continue to beat themselves up against the wall and not have systems. And I go back 3 months, 6 months, a year later, and they're doing the same exact thing. And it blows my mind of why people continuously shoot themselves in the foot by not upgrading and not advancing themselves, especially right now. Times are changing. Technology is changing like no other. And it's not going to be 3, 4, 5 years. It's happening now. As I shared with you guys a year ago, that by 2025, there's going to be a workforce of 50% humans and 50% AI and robotics. And you're seeing it big as day, from these restaurants to Google, Facebook, all these companies laying off individuals. You're seeing companies doing that. And what's going to happen, people are going to wait till it's too late, and it's going to hit them at the front doorstep. And it's going to be like, oh, shit, what do I do now? And our whole entire business, our whole entire concept is to help people be preventative. But as my mama said, a hard head makes a soft ass. And sometimes people's ego and pride gets in the way. And the same people that laugh are the same people that or the same people that say, hey, I should be doing this, don't do it, right? Or don't continue to do it and don't follow up with doing these things. And this is why we had this Canva conversations with entrepreneurs and business owners, because us too have to take responsibility from the entrepreneur side of, having a smart goal, finding out what that customer's, goals are. When I say smart, specific, measurable, achievable, right? Time bound, and then being transparent with that client. Because I know there's been sometimes, I've confused the shit out of clients, by trying to tell them everything under the moon, and I've confused them, right? And more importantly, making sure that you've communicated effectively. And this is where your systems come into place. And most people, don't showcase their business, don't talk about their business, and they expect to get business. And then when people do go and look at your old, outdated, static website, or you're leading people to a link tree, or you're leading people to Amazon to just go buy your book, not to mention Amazon is taking, off the top 30%, 60% if you have an actual book itself. I just saw one of the customers that I talked to, a while back. She put out there that she has her book ready to go, and I'm looking at her showcase Amazon. I'm like, we just had this conversation. Like, Amazon is taking your money. What are you doing? And yet they just continue. It's comfortable. People like comfortability. Oh, and then, I'm an Amazon bestseller. Let me help you out right now. If you hear anybody talk about Amazon bestseller, just know that you don't have to sell books to be an Amazon bestseller. You can have all your friends go on the Amazon page and look at the damn book, and all of a sudden you're a bestseller. Just real talk. And I talk facts. I don't talk feelings. It's not even based on book sales. And there's so many topics and subjects that you can put your book in that you all of a sudden become an Amazon bestseller. When somebody says they're a New York Times, right? Or they're a bestseller for, this, that, and the other than Amazon, now we're talking. And not only that, 54% of people only read one book a year, and your book ain't that damn good. Because I can go down a list of authors that I'm pretty sure people are going to read before yours. And I'm just real talk. This is why audiobook. This is why a podcast. This is why an ebook. This is why you having a membership. This is why you continuously coming out with ebooks is going to set yourself apart, not by putting it on damn Amazon. Real talk. Okay. And so this is so many different conversations that we have had with clients and had with customers. And this is exactly what Tara shared earlier. You have to be ready to make that pivot and make that shift and be transparent and communicate clearly and have a focus goal of what you want to do. And, I shared more about, the entrepreneurs, but I'll just recap because Tara went over this a little bit from consumers, right? You would be amazed how many times people get on the call and they don't know what you do, but yet they expect you to know what you do. So do a little bit of research, know what you're getting into, know what you're signing up for. Ask questions. Don't be shy. So many times I get on the call with people and people don't ask questions because what I shared earlier, we allow this system, this education system of don't do this, don't do that, sit down, don't ask questions. Don't be up in people, asking why. And we've got rid of that. Ask as many questions as possible, right? And then be realistic. That's the one thing that we are with our clients is, hey, look, we're going to help you build this foundation. We have 100,000 square foot foundation, but right now let's just build 5,000. And then as we move forward, we then can build a media room. We then can build this. We then can build that. And then we can, really have some realistic, ways of how we can have these smart goals. And then more importantly, communicate clearly. If you don't know what you want, I damn sure don't know what you want. And so be clear and understand what you want. And more importantly, know your value and being able to value your voice and your feedback. Because so often, especially with what we do, we hear from entrepreneurs and we hear from people and they don't believe in themselves. And I want you all to believe in yourselves because that's the biggest thing. I shared this yesterday. On my TikTok live, and I was listening to Eric Thomas, and Eric Thomas was talking about, we all were, or I'll speak for myself, and some of you might relate to this. We were college athletes, high school athletes. We were part of a community, and there was always that one person that would show up. They were gifted. They were talented. They really didn't need to practice. They really didn't need to, do all the stuff because they just had it. It was talent, right? Where a person with talent is always going to get beat by a person with effort. And I say that because I'll never forget, as a football player, my coach was also our track coach, Coach Brantley. And I was one of our middle linebackers. I was one of the bigger boys, right? And I would run track. Everybody knows you play football, you run track. Ain't no if, what's, buts about it. You're gonna get in shape. And so at the beginning, Coach Brantley was a world-renowned Olympian, coach. And he had us running 800s. I mean, times. And I never forget it, man. Everybody at practice was just lagging their ass off, and I was rolling. And coach stopped the whole entire practice, and he just started reaming into people. And he said, "You see that damn David Jones? David Jones shouldn't be beating y'all asses out here, but he's beating y'all with just simple effort. And most of y'all are faster than David and should be beating him, but he's beating y'all asses with pure effort and pure drive." And I'll never forget that. And I'm sitting, I'm like, damn, coach, you gonna call me out like that? But it was true. Effort will always beat talent. And effort comes with communication. Effort comes with being able to drop your pride, drop your ego, and collaborate with other people where talent, that talented person that just showed up to practice, that was just them being about them, right? They weren't about the team. They weren't a team player. Real talk. Think about it. Give me an emoji if you agree that talented player was traditionally not the most team-like person. Okay? But that person that showed up to practice every day, busted their butt, and just gave it their all, you would take that person over that talented person. And that goes back to, where we are now in our entrepreneurship. Are you talented or you got effort? And most of the time, I see people rolling on talent and not putting in the effort, because effort is you getting out of your own way and asking these questions and saying, hey, I'm not the great at doing this, but I need some help at doing that. That talented player is just going to do it and do it how they want to do it and eventually not falter off. And guess what? Those same talented players that you all thought of, guess what? I guarantee you, if you go look at their life now, I guarantee you it's nowhere near like it was back in the day. 100. Okay? And so I'll speak for myself. All the talented guys that I played football with that, everybody loved, those same guys right now are struggling in life because they didn't put in the work, right? They just thought everything was going to be handed to them and they didn't know anything else. And so this is where we share with you guys all. Just show up in life, press the button, and just continue to move forward. And if you do that, I promise you, you will never, never fail from a person that doesn't give up. What you got, Santosh? Talk to us, brother.
David, Tracy, and Marcella. Marcella? I pronounce your name. Marcella, is that you? You're saying that I don't want to take my name because you're going to make a mistake or something. You can say whatever you like, Marcella. That's not a problem because I understand. Like, I live in Australia, but I'm in police. I work, right? So a lot of people, they call me Santos. It's still okay. Some people call me Santo. That's okay. Some people say Santo. It's still all right. That's all. I understand that because if I was living in my home country, Nepal, if somebody's saying something different, maybe I would be opposing. Maybe that is my right name. But the thing is, I do understand the diversity of the world. That I'm here in Australia, I'm speaking English language, but maybe my English is not correct way I'm pronouncing, right? Whatever I pronounce, because I want to repeat that things again, like, when we grown up in Nepal, like age of 5, year 4, we only learn English. That's why our English is broken English earlier, and time here and there, visiting, traveling, talking. I don't know what sort of accent I have, but as far as I know that we studied American English and British English back in Nepal. And then came to Australia. Australians talk very fast. They call it Aussie accent. They speak very fast, and I experience all these things, right? So my point, I just want to pour right here is, I came here in Australia in 2008, and my first job was selling credit cards in the British Petroleum store, and the card for Citibank credit card. I did not have that flair of speaking language that time. That was good because I was lecturer back in Nepal, but not necessarily. I have to have a beautiful English to be a lecturer back in Nepal because they speak Nepali and English together, right? So first day, without knowing English properly, I sold 3 credit cards, and then I tried to put back. That's I'm here today. So what I'm trying to point out right here is everything you do on regular basis, no matter what education you have, how smart you are, how dumb you are, doesn't make any difference because I experimented that thing in my life. How I experimented is at 32, I came to Australia. Right? Till that time, I had 2 master's degrees. I was a lecturer back in the university, and I was a director of finance company. It still exists. It's still a exciting company exists. I started from scratch in Sydney market as the lowest possible job that time, just serving the customer, get the flowers, and drop in the van and say bye, thank you. That's how I was working there. And it was 2008 August I started, and now I'm here after 6 years. I make my identity in Australian flower industry, right? And know a lot of things about the flowers, but knowledge, whatever you know, that is not enough. You always want to learn something new, right? So when I work in the flower market, I did not know the flowers name, even 2 or 3 flowers I knew about it. And then gradually I learned, and then I tried, moved to other places, and then I started working in Flower City in 2013, 2nd April. I took over the business after working 3 years. When I wanted to buy the business, I did not have enough money to buy the business. That's why there are a couple of florists and member of owners there, and they're underestimating me that he talks, but I don't think so. He got money to buy the business. No, I don't think so. He can buy. No, he can buy house. He can buy blah blah blah, things like that, all these things. But I was very committed with myself. But I was planning for nearly 1 year earlier that this is the business. This much money this business makes. They are losing from here and there. I was making a strategy every day at my home because I'm an educated person, right? I started talking to my wife and she supported me. That's how I did. I did very fair calculation that if I do something changes into the business, though they are in the loss, but I can happen because there are a lot of loopholes there in businesses because they already make a lot of money. They rely on the workers and they are not putting that much effort. I easily calculate that this is what I can manage and then I can take over the business. That's how I did. And after a second, I took over the business. I don't want to tell how much money I bought it, but it was a big business I bought, right? My capacity was very low, but I bought a big one. And 1 year I was struggling. Definitely, I was struggling because when you are jumping in the new, you don't have enough money to buy the business. Definitely, you have to do hard work and smart work together, right? Not only hard work works. And I want to tell you some bitter story about it. It's till 2 years, I did not told any of my customer that this flower shop belongs to me. There is a vested reason behind that because people, no matter what, no matter where, when you are new in the business, people will underestimate you. And when they see the color of your skin, like not white, not black, I'm in the middle, right? And they understand that after seeing me, maybe they have a negative impact. Maybe I'm going to lose my customer, right? working here, and now he owns the business. He don't have any idea how he can run the business, and he's from, maybe they know I'm from Nepal, or maybe, you know, I don't have that much of a skill, or maybe my wife is this, she's not a florist, you know. We could speak English, we could talk about the business hours and hours, but not the flower industry. But I had an experience about the wholesaling, but not the retail. I didn't know how to make the bouquet, how it works, how to manage the florist, no idea at all. But I took the challenge, my wife took the challenge, and we run the business without having floristry skill in ourselves. So we had 8 to 10 teams together. We managed, because I was very good on buying side. On the side was good, but I was not good at all. Even still, I don't take any flower orders from my store. Still, I do not take any orders from any customer, because I don't feel confident on that, because flowers, there are hundreds of thousand flowers, right? Different types of flowers, different flowers speak different languages. I'm not expert on that, right? So that's why I don't take that charge. But these days, what I do is we have a website for gas and all these things. So the customer coming out of the store, especially the store, from first my store, I never, ever sit in my store. I'm just letting you know, Tracy knows very well about that. I never say the store, the retail store. I'm good on wholesale, talking with the customer, you know, delivering, managing, buying, all these things I can do very hard yard that side. But in the floristry side, when I face customer to deal about the flowers, I don't go that way, because that is not my way. I don't want to be on that way, right? So now, when I live in my flower shop, next flower shop, the customer comes. I just show them design, and then after we have plenty of design on that store, and then after I can talk about any flowers. I know this flower come from where, what longevity, how to protect the flowers, how it can be made nice, all the blah 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 blah. But myself, I don't know how to make it. Yeah, I'm just telling you, in flower industry for 15 years. 16 years in the flower industry, I know to make a nice bouquet. I'm just letting you know, right? But that is the only thing I can do. I can do every rest. I can do everything better than the florist. I'm telling you now. Because I know about the flowers, where it comes from, how to protect the flowers, what is the value of the flowers, what is the significance of the flowers, and all these things I know. But how to run a flower business, how to build a flower brand, how to expand the business, all these things I know. But I don't know the main thing, which is how to make the flowers, which Tracy is expert on that, right? That's why I don't want to go on that lane. That's not my thing. So that is the point I'm saying. The whole purpose of saying is continuously doing the thing every day on regular basis, which I implemented recently, guys. I was 80 kilo 2.5 years back. Now I am 75 kilo.
Congratulations, brother.
It's effective.
Congratulations.
Yeah, because how I made that happen? Because one day I was playing the tennis on the tennis court, and one of my florists, the Aussie florist partner, comes there, and we had a chit chat about this lifestyle. I have a very active lifestyle. I do all the good things, right? When I messed up that my weight is growing, I'm still healthy, even I was 90 years, still healthy and active. And we had a conversation. My problem was that drinking a couple of coffee every day, 3-4 cups with sugar and the normal milk. And then after, while driving here and there, go to BP or here, just get, just drink, this juice and all these things. Even they were very organic and all these things. I was doing that. Sometimes, just go to eat or this and that. That's my habit. And what the guy said, he just calculated and said, so I think there is a problem. You know what I did? Next day, I bloody cut off the sugar from I completely cut off the sugar from my coffee and started drinking oat milk. Still, I'm drinking. I have a coffee in my coffee. I'm just drinking here. So then after till 1 year, my wife was teasing me. So I said, what do you do? Very good. What do you do? Actually, I have to give credit to my wife. She joined me in the gym because she's good on that administrative and all this thing job, right? They joined me in the gym. And 1 year, weight was not doing great, couple of 1 to 2 kilos. What do you do in the gym? Do you really do the gym? Or you don't know how to do the gym? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, why is my relation? And then I asked my gym trainer there, hey, man, look, this is the thing, I'm coming here for this long time. Do you think mean that do I need a personal trainer to train me? And I was like, he was a very nice, and I have a lot of respect to that guy. He would be making some money from me, but what he said to me that, what do you do? He asked me, I do this, 4 things only I do, and yeah, perfectly. Whatever you are doing, do, but do regularly and look after your food. Thereafter, these are the important things, protein and all these things. And then, yeah, I'm not in diet. Honestly telling you guys, I eat right amount of food, more protein, definitely. But I don't like to do like people that, oh, I can't do that. No, I can't do. Sometimes I eat sweets as well. Sometimes I go to the Indian restaurant, I've got some food as well. But I just do on regular basis and make sure I eat my dinner by 6 or 6:30. I want to go further. And I have every day the same time. Sleep on the bed right time, wake up in the right time. And today in the morning, I told to even my wife that, look, 75.9 is still not 75, that one. But I think I can accommodate like 80 kilo because my height is not bad. It's 5'10", right? But the thing is, I want to be very slim and trim, very active. I don't want to be muscle man. That's never I want, right? I want to be trim, very healthy, fit and fine. I'm achieving my goal, and next 2 weeks time, I'm going back to my home country. People will be surprised to see me. My brother-in-law, he lives in Boston, and he's very good on his health. He got literally 6-pack. And last day, I talked with him, and he said, I'm very proud of you, what you did. Oh my God, you did an amazing job. Because even they were here last year, June, July, here we went to Bali and all this. It still was not getting the big results, but now I'm on my goal. So that how I achieve is consistency. So you do the regular thing every day on regular basis, whatever it applies everywhere it applies, do little bit every day, no matter what, you get the result. That's what I would like to accomplish. And everything applies in the same way, even customer, treat the customer every day, learn something new to impress your customer, something new, do the right thing to your customer, talk with them nicely, serve them nicely, and regularly, if you do that, they have that mind that, oh, this guy is good, this girl is good, this service, that's how you get better and better in your life. Thank you very much. I'm done for now. I love a little bit to talk now. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Santosh, for that share, brother. And you're so spot on, and that's what we share with people all the time. How you do one thing is how you do everything. And so, with that being said, guys, we greatly appreciate you joining us today for our Wisdom Wednesday room. We want to make sure you guys come and join us tomorrow for our Hello Pivot. We have our special guest, Miss Crystal Bay. She's going to be doing her book launch in the Hello Plaza on April 4th at 7 p.m., where she's going to be showcasing her book. We're going to have a trivia. We're going to have, you're going to have the questionnaire with her. This is literally where she's going to be able to have her book launch in the metaverse, where she doesn't have to go to Barnes & Noble and give Barnes & Noble's $500 to $5,000. Give Barnes & Noble 30% of her books, whatever she sells, and give Barnes & Noble's, a pretty hefty price that you got to pay for food and the actual members that are working the event. So it's pretty expensive, where, we now can host your event, whether it's a book launch, whether it's a webinar, whether it's your masterclass, whether you want to have an event in our Hello Plaza, you can do that exact thing by either joining our Pivot membership, or you can actually buy it outright, where you can have some additional things that are added to it, or we do your actual posting. We do the graphics for you. We do the design for you. We can StreamYard it for you and actually give you a copy of the event as well, so you can put on your YouTube. So we do the whole production side of your book launch or event in our Hello Plaza that really will be able to elevate your experience, especially those of you that are utilizing Zoom, you that are utilizing, even Clubhouse or LinkedIn to host your event, just like we're doing now. People are in our Hello Plaza listening to this live as we're on, our YouTube, and as we're on our Clubhouse, as we're on LinkedIn, all of our channels, as we continue to show you guys that, we're not talking about it, we're doing it. Most people talk, we actually do it. And a lot of people, need help with just the doing part, and they're sitting behind wondering why their business isn't excelling, because you're doing the same old shit. Point blank. Just keep it real, right? And so this is where you have to get out of your old way and stop selling yourself that, oh, it'll be okay. No, it won't. Times are changing, things are changing, or you changing is the question. So buckle up, buttercups, because, you know, as you continue to see these transitioning things happening in companies and these businesses, you do not want to get left behind. And so with that being said, guys, definitely come and join us in the plaza. Come and see the future's already here. And definitely, we are here every week on Tuesdays for our How To Tuesdays, on Wednesdays for our Wisdom Wednesdays, and Thursdays. That's at 6:30. And look, if you're not part of our Pivot membership, if you were part of our Pivot membership, and you're no longer part of our Pivot membership, maybe your credit card hasn't been through in a while, and you want to rejoin us, please hit the link up at the top and come and join us in, you know, our Pivot membership, where literally it starts out at $7 a month, where you get access to over 100 videos of how-to videos. You get access to our master classes. You get access, literally, if you join our Pivot membership, I'm going to give you a one-on-one with me out the gate, right? So we can sit and talk about what you're doing, where you want to go, and then even more so, maybe you need, you know, more one-on-one with our executive package, with our VIP package, where you get additional assistance, where we actually can do some of these things for you. Do your SEO, build out your YouTube, build out your apparel, build out some of these things that you don't know how to do, but you know you should be doing, and yet you keep giving your same ass lazy excuse, oh, I'm gonna get to it, and you never get to it, right? Or I don't know how to do it, and you can do it. And so, you know, this is where your business, or you just get up and say, you know what, I gotta hustle. Keep it at that. Make sure you keep that same energy that you gotta hustle and don't be in these streets, on these Clubhouse streets, on these LinkedIn streets, got a business. You know, and I know what you got and what you don't got. Okay. And so do a lot of other people when they go look at your link in your bio or at your website and be like, hold on, you was talking about this and you ain't much got that on here. Your website's from 2021. It's 24. What are you doing? Right? So buckle up, buttercups. Make the shift.
That's it. Let's make the pivot. At the end of the day, guys, you know, the topic of conversation is, you know, authenticity matters the most. And when you are showing up, whether you're on the business side or the customer side, the client side, there is a responsibility that you hold. There's a responsibility that you hold as a human, to be frank, but that's not the conversation today. So be sure that the next time you show up as a consumer, that you are carrying your weight and making sure that you can do everything you can do to be communicative, solution oriented, in order to make sure that you get what you want and the client or the company gets, you know, what they need. And so at the end of the day, it's about being responsible and about understanding that we all have unexpected expectations for everything. And that when we get a greater hold on understanding that we have expectations built for everything, and that if we do not convey, communicate, or get those out in the open, then we tend to see problems. And what happens is humans tend to then create stories and assumptions in their own mind. Then they get an upset in their own mind, and then it's, you know, off to the races, and then we have a problem, and we're into mitigating the issue instead of working on the project. And that comes down to you being aware of what type of client you are. And I'll say this before we get going. David and I were having a conversation, you know, a couple months ago or a month or so ago about this. David openly was like, I used to be that client. Like, you know, I used to, you know, not be the simplest person to deal with in that manner. And that's why I share that, because it goes back to when we're moving out of the age of the customer is always right. No, the customer is not always right. It is a partnership. You've come for something to get something, and the company's providing something. Everybody needs to walk away satisfied and appreciative of what they've been able to provide or receive. So we can beat this little drum until we're, you know, blue in the face, but it comes down to controlling your two thumbs how you show up in this life. So with that said, we want to bid you guys a fabulous afternoon. David and I are going to get our workout on. If you have not got your body active today, do yourself a great favor and go take a spin around the block or walk around your kitchen 10 times. Do some jumping jacks, do something, touch your toes, because if you don't use it, you will lose it. And that's the biggest thing that we'll all learn today. So with that said, love,
Kindness,
integrity,
and most importantly, commitment.
and most importantly, commitment. And until next time,
Toodles.
toodles. Please,
Love.
lots of love to you, and thanks, guys. And we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.